going to be a whistling only stream, no talking. I had a brainwave vis-a-vis RTEnnui. So, one of the big difficulties with RTEnnui is that what is, oh, that was just some temporary diff. Is that if you can't get a direct connection, then a lot of stuff goes through the central server. So, like, let me get into here, and the main is not at all the place to be. What I want is room. Oh, I suppose abstract room has the, yeah. No, it doesn't. Where is unreliable? Where does this live? Connect unreliable. Oh, server okay, fine. So, the server reliable connection is a WebSocket. The server unreliable connection is an RTC data channel, but if you can't get any RTC data channels, so you can't get RTC data channels to your peers, but you also can't get RTC data channels to the server, then everything goes here. Everything goes over that single WebSocket. And I am willing to believe that you definitely can get a WebSocket connection reliably if you can, so like, I'm willing to believe that if you can get one WebSocket connection, you could get 2 or 3 or 10. So I think the right approach. So the problem that I am foreseeing, imagining. Maybe I can even show this with the server reliable socket. Yes, so when we send data, if it has too much buffered, then it won't send it over server reliable. But, like, this buffered amount doesn't really have much to do with anything, and, like, if you have a voice connection and a video connection, it's just not, like, shuttling it all through that one connection imposes ordering that isn't good. But you can't get any other kind of connection. Now, there's the critical distinction. You can't get any other kind of connection. That doesn't mean you can't get another connection. What I haven't done sensibly here is I should have, like, server reliable and then a semi-reliable and unreliable WebSocket connection. Even a separate reliable data connection. So this is like the reliable connection for what am I trying to say? Like negotiation, that kind of thing, for the actual connection to the server. Let's see, if it's not the actual data, then it is the metadata, then it is the God, that hard problems in computer science are cache invalidation, naming things and off by one errors. Handshake. Orchestration. Control. You know what? I'm going to intentionally not name any of these the same so that I actually have to change and consider what the right way to do things is. I'm also going to have to change the server component to make any of this possible. I'm marking these as or null in anticipation of, in some future universe, making this strict. Actually, do I try to make it strict before I even try to do this? Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I say the answer is yes. That should be the only thing in diff. Yes, okay, so just for the sake of it, let's see if I can go into strict mode first. Ugh. I guess I have, yeah, all of the compiler options here, but this is the only place where I have any compiler options at all, isn't it? How weird. That's not normally how I do this. Now, previously, one of the dependent libraries was non-strict. In the current, like, whatever is currently installed with npm, that's going to be the same. That's cool. God, I just typed make. I didn't even capture the output or anything. There's going to be a million, trillion, billion errors. Pointless. This dot underscore null equals null. What? That must be... Oh, okay, wait, this is in WeSound. Did I not... Have I not made WeSound be, strict? No, I haven't. Okay. Step 1, make WeSound strict. Guess I'll do that then. How odd. It's just not very like me to do this, but maybe these were just early enough that I didn't quite know what the accepted, standard, usual way to do it is. You know what? That needs to change too, anywhere where it directly calls TSC. Once again, I forgot to check, like actually capture errors. Okay. This is obviously void. That's not how to declare this. Options is possibly undefined. Yeah, this entire thing won't work if you don't provide those options, so we're just going to assume that it's set. Parameter data, same with parameter data, that really does have to be set. Interesting. Why? Oh, because it doesn't know this is a port. Okay. Message port. Second verse, same as the first. $34, $64, $141. 34, 64. It's going to be literally identical. It is unavoidable that these are different files. Like, I can't just have the same code for both of these. They're too distinct from each other. Now is when I'm going to get tons of errors. Yep. $63, $65. Dot underscore null. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to get a different category of errors, but, oh well. Okay. Well, looks like what we're going to be doing today is putting things in strict mode, but you know what? Sometimes it feels good to do something simple. Okay. Maybe to... Why would I set it to... Right, because there is... Okay, yeah. So you have... Okay, at this level you have either a media stream or an audio node. But then when you create capture in a B... Oh, which is the shared audio. Okay, yeah. Yeah, okay. So this is either a media stream. Okay. Not the prettiest way that could have been done, but it should be fine. Audio capture 143. Input can be null. Or something. Or maybe sample rate can be null? I need to actually read the error messages before I try to fix them. Yeah. So it may not actually be in there, but of course we know it always will be, so I'm just going to insist that it is. It's not actually optional, even if it is specified as optional. It's not optional because that data structure has things for both video and audio. Yeah, similar. 151. 219 is different, though. So pretty much all of these are going to be allowed to be null, and we'll have to deal with that. The fact, so like TypeScript really needs to do something about this, that there are, like, what do you do about fields that need to be initialized asynchronously? The solution of strict mode is quite broken for that. $329. When and where does incoming get set? Presumably in... I see, yeah. Yeah. I just don't see a better way of getting strict mode than this, and I do really want strict mode for other bits, so... 334, 336, 377. Oops. $392, $465, $471. Yeah, I thought I had forgotten to set worker. I've forgotten all of the other numbers, but it doesn't matter because I just also bumped them all down by one. Actually, you know what? Here's how to do this sensibly. $466. Okay, so this is actually supposed to be that or null. I just didn't mark it as such. 472. If I can type. Okay, that's connected. 493. What? Yeah, in spite of the fact that it thinks that there might be nothing there, there will actually be something there. Oops, I'm not remembering to do it this way. $466. I think I'm having a parenthesis problem. Yeah, this has to be a parenthesis problem. By which I mean precedence problem, but you know. That's surprising. Oh, of course, because this has the same thing. Even though, in theory, that shouldn't have the same issue, but I really doubt that it understands that if it has a length, then shift will get something. It's not a dependent type system, just a simple flow type system. Okay, MR, libav, lots of things can be null. Probably not including packet size, but maybe. libav, mar, mar. I feel like I'm writing Java. Fresh timeout. Three. How annoying. 180. Wait, 180? Fair enough. 721. It really isn't, though. It really isn't. Frickin' thing. This is why I don't always put on strict mode. Its flow typing is not especially great. 722. I see. That's in util. What an annoying error for you to give. I am anticipating that at some point in the future this might be removed. How am I supposed to tell it not to complain about this? I mean, I guess I could any type AC. $735. that's annoying. I mean, that was probably the better way to do it in the first place, but I, would assume I'm never going to put undefined in the capture cache. Might have to do some exclamation points here where media stream is actually definitely defined but might be null. Nope. Quick bathroom break. Be right back. Just realized that today's task is just not at all what I'm doing now. I'm pretty much going to spend the whole time making this strict mode, but oh well. CS Levi. I'm surprised by how many of these have just worked when I set it to null. I guess I have a lot of checks to do the initialization. Well, here's the one where it stopped. Because init will always set it. Yeah. So, like, just don't call play if you haven't init it. 276, 300. Oh, this is I was like, huh? Didn't I just do this? Well, yeah, it's just that there's a bunch of different implementations of the same interface, so of course they all look the same. Pretty sure it's not assignable to this. Or no. I see. got the same problem here as I did with the capture cache elsewhere, which means I'm going to have the same BS down here. Let's just leave it like that and then see if it manages to pick it up. I doubt it. I think the flow typing is going to botch it as usual. Yep. Yeah. I mean, I guess it's not surprising that if my code wasn't completely broken, then putting it into strict mode isn't going to involve much actual fix-ups, just sort of convincing it not to be stupid. It's not actually, but whatever. Literally just set it up here, but where did I put my phone? I can't actually publish a new version without my phone because Authenticator. You can tell that I am the age that I am, whatever that age might be, because I'm not glued to my cell phone. Okay, let's go ahead and publish a new version. Unfortunately, publishing a new version has to happen in the background. Y'all know that. We've been here before. Oh, I've got some weird changes here. I have some nonsense changes locally that weren't doing anything, whatever. Let's see here. I know it's exciting to just hear me typing away and making a release of something that you can't actually see. Nothing could be more exciting. Oh, it's not compiling. What the hell? How did... what? Oh. More progress must be made. Yep, the capture side I had not actually fixed yet, because it was already compiled and I hadn't changed anything, so it didn't recognize that it was that it needed to do anything with it. It's going to be the same crap as always. This is void. 55. Just going to make these classic optional. Message port or null. Oh, interesting. Oh, of course, I set... Okay, so these are not classic optional. I explicitly set them to null because only one of them is going to be used, and that's how I indicate which. Fine. Now I gotta get a bunch of may not be defined errors. 41. 146. These are, again, all fine because it's like one case or the other. Oh, yeah, fine. Fine. You two. And you. And you. And you. Then same issues with cap worker, yep. We suspect I will actually need to give an exclamation point on these ones, because even though it was just set, it was set to something that's any. Well, you know what? Any is not usually considered as undefined, so I'm going to at least give that the benefit of the doubt. What have I just done? There we go. I'm, of course, going to have to do the same thing for outgoing here in a moment, but one step at a time. Oh my god, stop. Is incoming H ever used? Oh, I see. Yeah. But in this weird sort of secondary thing. Well, I know I'm going to have to do this for outgoing, so... Now, I would love to believe that this will just work, but I guarantee you it won't. I'm going to have the same issue, I bet, right here. Yeah. Let's benefit of the doubt it for a bit. Yep. I gave this the benefit of the doubt and said that that was probably wrong, and it was wrong. The thing that I can't somehow inform strict mode is that if shared is set, then that means that outgoing and outgoing H are set, because they were set here. But, you know, trying to communicate that to strict mode is hard. And I've decided, so like the reason why I never used to use strict mode is exactly this kind of thing. I've decided that this nonsense is slightly less annoying than not having strict mode. Even though this nonsense is very annoying, don't get me wrong. That might be it. Yes. Okay, now I go and release. It's a good thing I always rebuild from scratch when I release, or I wouldn't have even noticed that that was wrong. That one built! Hooray! Publishing, publishing. Okay. WeSound 1.2.6 is out, which means I can get back to RTEnnui. This probably makes more sense to just have be optional. Let me check. Oh, I see. Oh, that's annoying, because stop is set if it's actually going, and it's unset when it's not going anymore. Yeah, that was probably not the best way to do that. move that here. Let's just do this. I have no idea why I thought it made sense to have that not be in the constructor, but you know what? Let's just have it be in the constructor. It's all set, it's just not set in the constructor, because for some reason I had the constructor just fall through to a different function. I assumed it was like, you could call this more than once, but my note said, do not call this, so I don't think that was the case. Okay, so that is required to be set in these cases, and if you set it incorrectly, that's on you, not on me. Is there even a reason why? Ah, okay. I see. Yeah, same problem as usual. Must keep things in order. Is it S that's undefined, or yeah, it's width that's undefined. But of course, in actuality, the only reason it's undefined is because this is a settings object, which it doesn't know here is definitely a video settings object. So that is definitely actually assigned. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, the only reason I did that in try is because parent mode might not be set, but like, you know, maybe there's some other problem we're moving it and it doesn't actually matter, so let's just do the sort of Python style of just try, and if it throws an exception, then shrug, rather than the JavaScript style of, or the TypeScript style, really, of checking everything. As ridiculous as it is, I'm going to do this. So since those are all just numbers, it's easy to sort of initialize them in a trivial way. It's the same old problem of like, I really have an async constructor, but TypeScript doesn't know what that means. faintly confused by this, because surely the capture has to be set somewhere. Where is the capture set? What? Oh, that's all. Yeah, of course it is. That's also part of the asynchronous initializer. Annoying. Which means I'm probably going to have a maybe null error now, and I'm just going to have to hunt that down as usual. Yep. Usual case of, because this needs to be initialized, I actually know that that's definitely set, but I can't tell it, like, initialize is my real constructor. Oh dear. Oh, this is funny. I actually intended to set this right, but I got parentheses. Maybe I'll try and take this like one variable at a time, because this is going to be a, like, peer is the biggest class here and the most sophisticated, so this is going to be a uphill climb to get it correct. I'm going to try to finish this off this stream. Maybe even a little bit more. Probably not, though. Oh, of course. I see. Yeah, I understand why this is complicated at all. Because, of course, you might not have any sort of stream coming from the peer, in which case all of that is unset and silly and weird and nonsense. Yeah, similar for tracks. Similar. Let me just try and make a reasonable guess about what may or may not have null here. Yeah, any of these can be null, definitely. This can certainly be null. The reliability itself can't be null. I'm betting this can be null, but maybe we can fix that. Bunch of numbers, that's automatically set. That's already or null. That's automatically set. That's already or null. Those are automatically set. Interesting. It's quite normal for me to do a number or null for an interval or a timeout, because I tend to use that to distinguish between I have this interval or I have this timeout or I don't. You know what? This is sufficient. It's never going to be 0. That's not how these things work. Because they know that they can't have that be falsy, so... So confused. This is in P2P. This is in, oh, okay, this is in P2P channel, which is called by P2P, so it can't know that that's definitely set. Oh yeah, as usual. Yeah, fair enough. Oh, that's interesting. That's very funny. So here it checks, but of course, because this is after a timeout, it doesn't know that it's going to be set after a second. And that's correct, and that's why this is in a try-catch. But, yeah, it's the same old case of, like, I pulled a Python and just tried it and then caught the error, which in this case there's nothing I can do about it, but it doesn't really matter. It's just a Pong. Rather than, you know, any sort of more typey specific thing. Same here. That is actually very funny. Oh yeah, that's right. Each track can itself be null. Oh, this isn't ugly at all. Track or null array or null. Wasn't that 645? 646. What? Oh, I see. Wait. Okay. Yeah. Local variable and the field have to be set that way. It really isn't, though. It really, truly isn't at this phase. now how do I guarantee that resampler is actually set? Oh, it's on load, fine. Definitely getting Peer to compile is going to be the last thing I do today. This is a, you know, sometimes it's not glamorous. Sometimes dev is just maintenance. Do that way. It should have the same effect, since this is just going to crash if I... Actually, it's not quite the same. There we go. Now it's the same. At the end, this really should, yeah, set that to null too. There's no reason to emit it if it's already been closed, because it's definitely gone. Fine. This null isn't going to be allowed in there either. Yeah. Yet another this or null array or null. But hopefully that shouldn't actually pop up very much, because I know full well that there can be nulls in there. I've built the entire sort of data receiving infrastructure under that assumption. I wonder if I need to put it there. I'm curious. Let's find out. Like, does this exclamation point get inherited in there? No, it does not. Yeah, I wish there was a better way just to say, like, you know what? God, what is it called? There's some quasi-type system for, like, types that slightly change over time, and where, like, this will be set to null in this phase types. We need phase types. Oh. I needed 2 exclamation points there. see what I'm doing. But I feel like I would rather do it this way, like work around the type system this way, than allow iData to be maybe null, which would just cause madness. Because, like, this might be null, but then if it is, I just set it. But then I would need for it to, like, figure out after this point that, oh, it's definitely set, because either it was set here or it was set here. But that's a more complicated bit of engineering than I know that the type system is capable of. This is a big file. It's sort of a necessarily and unavoidably big file, but it's still a big file. Going to be a lot of putting exclamation points in things. It may look like I'm just sort of blindly putting an exclamation point anywhere where it complains, but I am actually thinking carefully about whether it belongs in each place. It's just that it does belong in most places, because even though I didn't use strict mode, I did write this code thoughtfully. How long is this file? Oh, God. I was like, I'm gotta be nearly done. No. Oh, interesting. I would say that it's not like me to just forget to put type annotations on a function like that, but no, it's completely like me. Is that even the correct type? Maybe. I'm going to say yes because it did compile. Yes. $12.99 out of 2100. 1305 out of 2100. TS offset can be null. TS offset can be null. Oh, because it's ideal TS offset, that is the helper function. Oh, that's annoying. Yeah. So I have no real way of saying that it definitely isn't null. I don't like this. Like, this is a particularly grotesque case, but I'm not really sure what a better solution is.
how did I even do that? Okay, so make sure I set data by track. Do I even use data by track? I don't remember. Wow. Make sure I delete data by track. Interesting. What? Why do I have all this stuff in here that I don't use? I mean, I can tell you exactly why, probably for each thing even, because each case is going to be something where I like tried to fix something or adjust something in that way and then eventually abandoned it, but the detritus managed to stay around. Okay, fine. You know what? I'll just auto set it here. I don't do the initializer next to the field declaration often enough. It's just very it's just difficult for me to do it that way because that's not sort of what I'm accustomed to from other programming languages. This is going to be another case of initialize one thing, but you can't, like, there's no phase type, so you can't tell it that the other things are definitely initialized. Can have another pair of those. Going well over my usual hour. I hope I'm done by 5, because I'm certainly ending then regardless. Yeah, there's actually no correct way to do this if it's not already encoded. And I can't somehow mark that, like, you can only call unify on a packet if it's already encoded, so such is life. It just, all that unify does is take each encoded chunk and mash them together into one big array. Oopsie poopsie. Fair enough. This is almost just a interface. It just has a constructor, that's all. Other than that, it's just an interface. It is a C++ pod, plain old data. Yeah, fair enough. Definitely this is not necessarily going to be set. Let's make this standard optional. Yeah, same block of things for the for whatever this is that I've already forgotten. How did this get off? Even though in practice it actually always will be set, it is a little bit more cleanly to do it this way regardless. Cleanly versus clean. I guess cleanly means prone to being clean, like prone to cleanliness, whereas clean means clean. Is that the distinction between those two? Yeah, this is another case where it's like, if I could just say it's in the unset phase or the video phase or the audio phase and just have it know which of those it's in, then I wouldn't need to have any or nulls on them. I would just use the appropriate one. Come on, 3 minutes. Finish off this file. I actually genuinely am close to finishing this file. This is another case where it just doesn't know that that's actually always going to be set. Oh, that's interesting. Because if NV is set, then it's a video environment. It doesn't know that always one or the other is set. There's no way of saying, like, what? What just happened? Did I accident? Oh, okay. I just accidentally moved to a different window. Okay, so the buffer can have nulls in it. This is the decoder, right? Yeah. And having said the buffer can have nulls in it, we'll probably break a bunch of other crap. Output not defined to allow null. Hey, wait. Oh, yeah, okay. It outputs null if it is null. Oh my god, okay, that's room that it's saying. That means we're done. Okay, we'll continue putting this in strict mode and then maybe do the thing I actually said I was going to do the next dev stream.